We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet. We're back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. We have Chandler Marie. How's it going?
How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to sit down and chat with you. You know, I found you on Instagram like less than a week ago, and I reached out and we were able to like make it work. But I was thinking about it this morning because this morning I was driving to work and I just kind of had your Spotify profile on like random rotate or whatever. So I was just kind of playing whatever songs. And your last single came on that I'm guessing you released for Mother's Day or around Mother's Day?
Yes, kind of. It was a little bit before, but yeah.
A little bit before? Okay. Right around Mother's. No, wait. No, Mother's Day is in May. What I saw March.
Wait, when's that? Oh, yeah, it was March. So, I mean, it's still before. It's still,
okay. It's still accurate, but no, so I was looking, you released Mama Made Me in March, and my mom's birthday is in April, and she passed away a couple of years ago. So I was just trying to do like a tribute video for her.
Yeah.
And I went to ChatGPT and I was like, give me names of songs about mothers or whatever. And it gave me like the typical like 10 that you would think of off the top of your head. I was like, no, that's not going to do it. And I just went to YouTube and put in like mama music or something.
Aww.
And your song popped up.
That's so cool.
Because I was trying to figure out where I had heard the song before. Because like when it came on this morning, I was like, man, I've heard this song before. I just can't place it yet. Like I just couldn't place it. And I went back and I was like, wait a minute. This is that song that I was thinking about putting on my mom's like video for her birthday. And it was like down to this song and a couple of others. And I just went with another one just for whatever reason. And this popped up and I was like, wait a minute. Okay, this is like destiny or fate or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah.
That's cool that it pops up. Huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know. It was like I have a really weird way of just making things populate like just mama music or something. And that just feels really
I love
weird.
it.
So, but how are you doing? You're in Nashville, and right now it feels like Nashville is starting to pick up busy season a bit.
Yes. I went downtown Broadway the other day just to see some friends, and it was 11 a.m. and people were already flooding the streets on a Tuesday. Or I think it was Tuesday or Monday. And I'm like, oh yeah, busy season, summer's coming up. It is crazy. But yeah, it's been good. Been good.
Nice. How long have you been in Nashville?
I've been in Nashville. So I technically live in Franklin, but I just say Nashville. Almost 5 years.
Okay. So you moved there after you graduated from Knoxville?
A few months after. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And was it always kind of the goal to get to Nashville or yeah?
Yeah, the goal was always like when I graduated, I was like, I'm going to somehow get to Nashville. I don't know how. So I moved back home to Georgia for a little bit until, because it was still COVID, everything happening. No one was really hiring. I was kind of not sure where to go at this point. And then I found a teaching job for a preschool that has special educations and stuff like that. So they hired me on the spot, worked there for 2 years, and then kind of got my foot in the door for Nashville. I was like, okay, well, it got me up here. Let's do this, make some money, and then start the music stuff. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
So you had technically moved to Nashville before you started like pursuing music full time or professionally or however you want to word it? Yeah,
I kind of used my degree for 3 years. And then now I don't really do anything with it, but it's still good to have.
Right. Hey, you know what though? You gave it the old college try, which is a new saying. It's an old saying, but a new saying that I've just started throwing out there because it just works in so many situations. You know, like people talk about how they're afraid to go do something. It's like, you got to give it the old college try. And, you know,
exactly.
No, so that's really cool. So were you playing music while you were at UT or were you like, how does that kind of all start to kick off?
Yeah. So I kind of like my first in the back of the brain was always, let's go to Nashville. Let's do some music. But I always had a goal of wanting to go to the University of Tennessee. That was a dream of mine. I wanted to do the sorority thing, be the college girl, get out of my hometown, go to football games every Saturday. I'm pretty sure I went to every single one,
Nice.
even the away games. And that was just kind of the dream. And then as time went by, I was like, okay, now I kind of want to do what I actually want to do in life, which is music. And some people I kind of look back now and it's like, what if I would have started back
Mhm.
then? But I don't think I would have had the same experiences as I do now
Yeah.
if I would have started earlier, because
Yeah.
everything happened for a reason. So my timeline's just a little different.
Yeah, for sure. Now, but were you like playing guitar and like singing at that time? Like not even like recording or anything. Were you just like
Yeah,
playing around the house or
brought
whatever?
my guitar. I brought my guitar to school with me, just dabble here and there. I was never the best guitar player.
Hmm.
I learned a little bit in high school. My dad taught me some chords, but I was never really into like, oh, let's sit down and write a song. Because, it's like, oh, I have this sorority meeting. Music was kind of in the back of the brain at that time. I was also young and wanted to do all that stuff. And
Yeah.
um, so I would play here and there whenever I was
Yeah.
by myself. I had major stage fright,
Yeah.
major growing
Yeah.
up. So I finally had to get over that hump. And it's like, if you're going to do this, you got to do it.
Right. Right. Right.
So
Was there like a moment you remember where you got over the stage fright, or was it just kind of gradual over time?
it first happened when my first or second show when I was playing on Broadway.
Mm.
If you can play in front of a Broadway crowd, I'm pretty sure you can play in front of anybody because they are brutal. Either they're just staring at you the whole time, or some people are vibing and some people are just like, what is she doing up there?
Hmm.
But we got through it, and now I can pretty much play in front of anybody.
Sure.
I don't care.
Sure. Well, to be fair, on Broadway, if they're just staring at you, they're probably drunk, trying to figure
That
out
is
how
also
they're,
true.
depending on what time. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter what time of day, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty much any time. I mean, if
Yeah.
they're having a good time at 10 a.m., they're having a good time at 10 a.m.
Right. 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 Like you were saying when we before we jumped on here, the first time that I actually like went to Nashville and like did like the Broadway thing. Well, did the Broadway thing and like kind of explored out. I went down Broadway at 10 a.m. on like a Monday in January. So not like peak tourist time, just kind of like I figured I
Sure,
was
it was
like
probably
it
snowing.
actually no, it wasn't. It was actually
Oh, it
very
was snowing yet?
yeah, it was very pleasant outside. And I was just sitting there, I was
Wow,
like, you know what? I'm gonna see. I'm gonna at least try and get one of the bar, like at least try and do the Broadway thing. That Monday in January was so freaking packed it wasn't even funny. Like this is
crazy.
this is like pre-COVID, so it's
Yeah.
like a little bit of a different timeline. But it was like it's freaking Monday in January. What are
Okay.
you guys doing?
Yeah, I always think like you guys are up at 2 a.m. because I used to do night shifts.
Hmm.
I'm like, you guys are up at 2 a.m. on a random Wednesday. You guys not have to work in the morning? Did you take tomorrow off? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm always so curious to see what these people do.
Right. Well, they're probably not telling you it's their off day because they also work at 2 a.m. and this is just
So
their normal bewitching hours. So
that's also true.
fair. So after school, after a little bit of time, you ended up coming to Nashville. Was there like a specific moment where you're like, okay, it's like now or never with the music, or yeah?
Yeah. So I worked, like I said, in preschool for 2 years with special education. Then I moved jobs to elementary school. When I moved to the elementary school job, I was kind of in the middle of starting my music journey, putting out my first single. And then I started working Broadway full time and teaching full time. And it got to a point where I couldn't juggle both because I was getting home at midnight after a Broadway shift, getting up at the crack of dawn to go back to work with kids, and kids are exhausting. They can drain you. Love them to death, but especially with dealing with behaviors and kids with autism, it can just take a little bit of a toll. I love the kiddos. Would I still go and sub when I can because
Mm-hmm.
I can't get away from them. Love them so much, but it was I think 2023, the
Hmm.
summer of 2023. It was May or no, it was the summer, July, and they were asking if I was going to come back to teach, and I texted my dad and I was like, "Can we talk?" I was like, I really don't think I can juggle it. I've been praying about it. Like, I'm really feeling a tug to go to Broadway and just focus on music full time. And I cried going into my shift at Rippy's at 2 p.m., sending in my resignation letter. All my band members were like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I just quit my job. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Um, so it was kind of almost 2 years or 4 years after moving here, I guess, almost maybe 3 or 4. And I was like,
Mhm.
I can't juggle both.
Mhm.
And I like prayed about it and I was like, this is the step. I have to go all in or nothing.
Mhm.
Uh, and I also kind of had like an eye like awakening moment like this past year when I stepped away from Broadway too
Yeah.
and just focused on my personal music. Because it's either sing covers for the rest of your life and hope you get noticed or
Mhm.
pursue something that you want people to hear your voice in.
Oh yeah.
So that's what we're doing now and just writing and putting out music.
Right. I mean, I've sat on this podcast and heard the horrors of the Broadway grind. I've anything you could think of to tell me, I've probably heard a story about it. So it's
Oh,
like,
I have some stories, especially the late night shifts.
oh yeah,
They 4 nights a week. It was you saw some people,
oh yeah.
interesting people.
I've even seen some videos that are like, okay, that's a
Yeah,
thing. So
it is a thing.
yeah.
Yep.
So now that you're 100% focused on you and your music, how do you feel right now?
I feel good. I think I'm like the healthiest I am voice wise as well, because singing on Broadway, you can kind of blow out your
Hmm.
voice. So I feel really good. I've been writing a lot more, which is something I in the past was terrified to do was co-write because I was so terrified that they would think my ideas were stupid. So I would always write by myself or my brother-in-law who kind of like helped me get out of that funk. He was like, you got to just branch out and go write with somebody. And now that's kind of, I still write by myself sometimes, but now it's just like, I want to pick their brain on this idea.
Hmm.
So just writing. And I just had the opportunity to record 15 songs last week.
Yes.
So I'm super excited for those to come out. I have a new single coming out this Friday. So we're
Nice.
just pushing, going along with it.
Nice. Yeah, I was building towards the new single, so you're right on pace with me.
Oh,
It's
perfect.
yeah, so with the new single, is it all like building to a bigger project, or is that kind of where you see your at least immediate future is kind of like singles right now?
Yeah, so I put out my first EP back in January and
Mhm.
then put out a 3 single EP. And then these next batch of songs are just going to be single, 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 and then just kind of bunch them together. We're
Mhm.
not going to do a full album just yet because I'd hate for these songs to get lost when you put out an album and they're not all heard because I truly believe in these songs. I would make every single one of them a single if, it worked that way. I mean, I guess it could, but yeah, so we're working towards bigger projects, but right now just kind of keeping them small until it's time to explode them, I
Yeah,
guess.
for sure. It's always that conversation of when is a good time to like make that transition from singles to bigger projects, whether that's EP, LP. And like the main reason why I'd asked, because I'd noticed the last three singles all kind of gotten grouped into that
Mhm.
uh I guess it's a 3 song single, like you said. And so I didn't know if you're doing like that waterfall release thing that Tik or Spotify is kind of becoming known for now. So
So I didn't even know that was a thing until we realized you couldn't do it on Apple, and we're like, oh, well, we'll just group it. I don't really know how that works.
yeah.
Metadata confuses me, but we're making it work. I'm learning, and so I probably inputted some things wrong. But I've been working with somebody who helps me figure out how to input
Hmm.
things so that way I like to be a part of everything. I
Hmm.
don't like somebody doing it like always for me. So I kind of like to learn just in case I have to go in and put something. So we're learning.
Sure. Like if you're not learning, you're dying. Like I mean,
Exactly.
that's the motto that I've kind of picked up recently is like you got to always be learning. Otherwise, what are we doing here? Um, so with this new single, what's the story behind it? What can you tell us about it? You got
Absolutely.
literally 6 hours, little more than before it
I know,
releases.
I know. It's coming on up. I'm super excited. So I wrote this song with Jonathan McClendon, my brother-in-law, and our friend Quentin Hall. It was actually only our second write together, and we had to break it up because we just got stumped. We could not come up with a second verse. I don't know what was going on, but we were like, we need to call it a day. We need to come back with fresh brains. And it kind of came up the idea before I was dating the guy I'm dating now. I had a problem with letting guys come back into my life who didn't
Mhm.
need to be, until I finally got to the point where it's like, you know what, I'm done. And then also in college, I had a problem with never chasing my shots.
Mhm.
So that ended up, if you can imagine, not very well. But I kind of was like, I don't chase whiskey. Why would I chase men? Like, why do I keep letting them back in my life and like begging them to come back? I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. So we're gonna write a song about it. So we did, and it's a really cool song, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And it was produced. Robbie Artrez is my producer, and he is amazing. And all the musicians that I've worked with on the song and the future records coming out, I'm super excited.
Nice. When you said chasing your shots, it took me a minute to realize you were literal when you said
Oh,
chasing your shots with like a chaser. Because in my head, I'm like, she means she wasn't going after the guys she thought she had a chance to. I don't know. And then it was like, no, she means it literally. What are you doing?
literally, yeah. I would never, everyone's like, my drink of choice was Crown Apple, Crown
Mhm.
Royal Apple, and that got very dangerous.
Mhm.
But everyone's like, oh, don't you want to chase her? And I was like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
Well, getting kicked out of formal later, it's fine. We are past those days, but I was like,
Right.
we're still gonna write a song about it. And one of the people that I was working with said, you write a lot of songs about whiskey and drinking. And I was
Mhm.
like, that's so funny because I don't even drink.
Right.
Like I got all those days out in college. Like,
Mhm.
why? He was like, and you still write about drinking? And I was like, why not? People
Right.
relate to
Right.
it.
I feel it. I had a very similar, we'll call it a parallel problem in college where all my friends drank beer, but I wasn't a very big beer drinker at that time. And so I would drink rum and orange soda. That rum was kind of
Oh,
like my drink. And so for every beer they drank, I would drink a rum and orange soda. Well, which is in
so
theory
different.
not a not necessarily the worst case scenario, but when they're killing 24 packs in a night and
Yep.
I'm killing a fifth of rum,
A little bit different feeling.
yeah. And it's just like I woke up one day and I was passed out in the bathroom and they're like, I was like, how did I get in the bathroom? And he's like, don't ask.
Don't
Literally do not ask. And I'm
better you
like,
don't know.
are you guys mad at me? They're like, no, we're just glad you're okay. And I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
cool.
Hey,
Thank
we've all been there.
you. Yep. I was like, sweet. That's all. As long as you guys aren't mad at me and I don't have like a mile of crow to eat, I'm good. So
That's
yeah.
so fun.
Yeah. So with the upcoming release of your new single, what's kind of running through your mind as we approach like the last few hours here?
Um, I'm really excited. I used to stay up for these releases. As I get older, it's very hard to stay awake, especially when I have to be up at 4 in the morning.
Fair.
I've become a hardcore gym girly, going working out, trying to get healthy.
Hmm.
Um, so I get up at 4 in the morning. But my dad always stays up, and sometimes my mom, but my dad always texts me at like, because we're on Central Time, they're Eastern, and is like, one more hour. And I'm like conked out asleep. I was like, I'll text you in the morning and then we'll go listen to it. But yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be on the Radio
Yes.
Sobro tomorrow as well. So I'm super excited. I'm so blessed to have these opportunities as well. So just putting out music.
Nice. I can't wait to hear it. I've had the opportunity over the last few days or so to kind of really dive into your music, and I'm excited to hear it. So,
Well, thank you. I'm excited for you
yeah.
too.
Are you doing any kind of music videos or anything for this song, or?
I have in the past, budget wise, it's been kind of tough. So we've just been kind of holding off on videos right now and just kind of staying consistent with just putting out music. Um, and then little like shorts, like YouTube shorts and stuff like that. So maybe we'll get another video going here soon. Maybe not this song, but hopefully in the future.
Nice. It's one of those things where I think even like simple like lyric videos work. It's kind of reverted to how it was when I grew up. Wow, I sound like an old man. Well, I did the back in my day. No, but like when like MTV was really popular with
Yeah.
TRL and stuff like that, and it was like the music video told you what music to listen to. And,
Hmm.
so I feel like music, at least since the pandemic, has kind of reverted back to that, especially with like YouTube becoming like the
Oh yeah.
main way a lot of people consume content nowadays is through YouTube. So it's like, it's really cool to kind of see the reemergence of music videos.
Yeah, I agree. And plus people nowadays are just so visual. So like sometimes they don't understand lyrics and like because I know some like songs that I've written, like you kind of have to visualize like what's going on, like in my opinion. So like seeing the music video just kind of like really makes sense of the song in my so
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Makes sense. It kind of gives people the idea or like a clearer
Mhm.
vision of what the musicians were thinking when they put the song together. But then you also get those musicians that they just throw a random left curve and the music video really has nothing to do with the song. So,
I've seen some of those. Yep.
yep,
Very confusing.
yep. Oh, yeah. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know what you're doing here,
That one
but
coming.
we're here. So, no, that's cool. So do you know the next release or is that still kind of up in the air?
We do have the next release. We don't have a date for it yet,
Fair.
but we do have it done. We're getting cover art soon. And so we will be all ready to just submit.
Sweet. Now, is the cover art and all that stuff? Because I feel like that's honestly, that's something I don't even really talk about on here all that much, which is odd because that's kind of one of my favorite things to talk about is like the cover art, especially when you're talking like vinyl and stuff like that. It's like the cover art's everything. Is that something that you're actively involved in, or do you have somebody
Oh
that
yeah.
kind of handles that?
I kind of come up with the ideas and like I have a vision of like I want this. Sometimes we have to, throw an audible and change some things up. Like in Chase U, we don't have a step side 95 Chevy, so we just kind of used my sister's truck and made it look like one. And then a few of the pictures that we've taken was my mom took on my cell phone,
Mhm.
and it turned out like a photographer took it. So the power of Canva and editing, and my mother. So
Not the first person to say that. So it's just like the barrier. That's the other cool thing is like the barrier to entry right now is just very affordable. Like
Mhm.
if you've got a somewhat recent cell phone, and I say somewhat recent because it doesn't even have to be like within the last 5 years. It
Yeah.
takes really good quality stuff. So
I agree. Yeah, I have I think one of the newest iPhones, like the 15 or whatever.
mm-hmm.
And she just took them outside and the lighting just happened to be perfect. It was below freezing, but it's fine. And it turned out good. And I just kind of did like a little editing thing on Canva and just made it blurred out the background and made it look cool on some pictures.
Yep.
And yeah,
Nice.
there we have it.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
I just
So
buy her dinner and we're good to go.
yeah, yeah. Easy peasy, right?
I know.
Right. So are you playing like a release show or anything for this, or is it just kind of not that big of a deal with the single?
Not for this one. I'm considering it for the next EP LP that I put out.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be in the works just to, kind of play the songs that are on the album as well as what is to come.
Gotcha.
So it'll be a little bit before that happens, but we're doing pop-up shows here and there. And so I just play kind of my originals as well as covers that people would like to hear just to get people's reactions to new songs.
Mm-hmm.
So
Is
yeah.
that is the like writing, recording, releasing? Is that kind of your primary focus, or are you playing pretty consistently right now?
Kind of both. Right now, I don't have any like set consistent gigs. It's just kind of whatever pops up at the moment, or people contact me and are like, "Hey, do you want to play this day?" Um, so it's just kind of up in the air. I'm hoping one day I'll be able to, Lord willing, just go tour and just play music
Mm-hmm.
wherever people would want me to play. So we're working our way up to that.
Nice,
Hopefully.
nice. It's honestly, it's not the older you get, the harder it gets because you got to have like guarantees and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I want to go play in Oklahoma, but if I pay $500, $600 or whatever for the trip up and back and all that stuff, and I don't get anything back, that $600 is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're younger and it's like, okay, I could sleep in my car, like all these like little things that you can do to cut corners, but nowadays it's like,
I
yeah,
want to
I'm
be
not
opposed to sleeping in my car, but I mean, I'm gonna get a crick in my neck. I'm a
eh,
27-year-old and an 80-year-old body at some
yeah,
point. Everything's popping.
right.
So
I'm a 38 or 37-year old in a like a 80-year-old body, so I 100% get it. Like I drive 8 hours on a whim and it's fine, but the second you make me sleep in my car, and it's like
Yeah.
that hurts. I ain't gonna do
Yeah,
it. So,
probably need to stretch out a little more in a bed.
right,
A couch
right,
even.
yeah, right. I 100% get it. So, but no, it's really cool that that you got your new single coming out, and your the aspiration is to get out and tour, and I I'm so envious of that whole situation because it's just like I wish I would have started getting out and going a little bit earlier in my life. So yeah,
Hey, you can always start whenever.
yeah.
Like I said, if I would have started earlier, who knows where I would be, but there's a reason that we start where we start.
Hmm. Well, and the way I look at it is, had I started when I originally had the idea for Live and Amplified 15 years ago, it probably wouldn't have gone anywhere because I didn't have the right people in my life that knew some of the stuff I didn't know. But then when I met the right people about 10 years ago, it was like, okay, you know how to like work with musicians, you know how to mix and master music if we start recording stuff. So yeah, it
Exactly.
was the right timing. So
100% believe that.
yep.
100%.
Yep. So outside of music, what do you like to get into? What do you like to do to just kind of relax or chill or whatever?
So like on some of my days off when there's openings, I'll go sub at the school just to, say hi to the kiddos that from the years prior. And then just kind of relaxing, really. I'm a big shopaholic. I have a problem. It's my therapy. Do I need to spend the money? Absolutely not. But does it make me feel better? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do I need any more clothes? No. Got a closet full of them. But it just, it's just something about it. Also just kind of hanging out with my family. I'm a big family girl. My sister has a 2-year-old daughter and twins, a boy and a girl who were born 6 months ago. And I love they're not mine, but they are basically mine. I would do anything for them. And so just being around them and my parents and my family and boyfriend, and friends, just what I love to do, really.
For sure. And then you're going to be at CMA Fest too, right?
Yes, I am. June 7th.
Nice. Are you're playing? Are you playing fanfare or are you playing one of the stages outside?
It's fanfare spotlight stage,
Okay.
is what they call it. Yeah.
Yeah. I last year I went to CMA Fest, but I spent my entire time in the media lounge, and
Oh,
so like when I got done, they were starting to close down the fanfare, like that whole event center, and I'm like, I missed it. Well, not
I'm
really, because like everybody that was in there came into the media lounge,
yeah.
but it's like I had no idea like what was actually going on in there. So
I've never been in there for CMA Fest, so this is my first time being in there, like
nice.
Music Center. And then this is my first time being a part of like actual CMA
Mm,
Foundation because a few years ago I was just playing shifts on Broadway.
yeah.
So the Lord answers prayers. This is something I have been praying for ever since I started just putting out lineups. And I'm like, Lord, get me on one of those stages if it be
Right.
your. And here we are. We're super excited. We're putting it's an acoustic set. So we're putting a little acoustic set together.
Mm,
It's only 20 minutes, but we're going to show out the best 20 minutes we can. So I'm
I do.
super excited.
I love it. And is that normally how you play, or do you have a band that'll play with you?
I have people that I've put together as a band.
Mhm.
I don't do a lot of band gigs, like full on band.
Mhm.
Sometimes here and there, mostly just acoustic shifts or writers' rounds. So we're just going to put a few acoustic guitars and do some licks and strums and BGVs and yeah,
Sweet.
get it done.
Sweet. I dig it. But I don't want to keep you here too much longer. So everybody can go check out your new single when it drops. All your other music shows, all that fun stuff, social media. Where's the best place to find you?
It is Chandler Marie Music on everything. So Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, chandlermariemusic.com. It's pretty simple.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, really glad we got a chance to sit down and chat. It happened really quickly, which actually those are like my favorite kind of interviews because I don't have
Mhm.
time to overthink everything where it's like, oh,
Exactly.
what do we want to talk about? And it's like, we literally connected on Tuesday, booked it for Thursday, and that's good. So
That's it.
yeah,
Here we are.
yeah, absolutely. But I really appreciate your time. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we will catch y'all later.
Thank you.